Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and keep watching. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about why I did not go to university, taking a gap year, work experience and apprenticeships, and also just some generic advice if you are someone that is choosing an alternative route than going straight to university. My main reason why I chose not to go to university simply came down to the fact that I didn't know what I wanted to study. I didn't know if I wanted to go down the science route or the humanities route. So I figured rather than pick a subject and force myself to study a subject for 3 years that I might not even be passionate about at the end of it, I thought, let me explore my options first. The thing is, right, at school, we're not really told about other routes to university. Like, even when they mentioned apprenticeships, it was always things like hairdressing, accounting, plumbing, or builders or something like that. Like, there wasn't much more information about apprenticeships unless you wanted to go down that route, and I didn't want to do any of those things. So I had to do my own research. Like, in my last year of my A-levels, I had already come to the conclusion that I didn't want to go to university. So I was doing my research, trying to find other options. I was applying for apprenticeships, I was applying for internships. I just thought, let me get the ball rolling while I'm still studying so that when it gets to September time and everyone's going to university, I at least have a bunch of options. I came across this apprenticeship scheme and it was in digital marketing and business. And I thought, okay, this is cool because I like the digital side of things anyway, and I wanted to get into business a bit more. So this was the perfect course for me. It was run by this charity called, I think it was called Step Forward. I think they've stopped running now because of funding. So I don't think they exist anymore, but that was the course that I went with. It was a 1-year course, and the way the course was set up was you would do studying, I think, if I remember correctly, once or twice a week, where you would be in the classroom and you would do all the studying, and then the rest of the week you would be in the workplace and learning on the job. They accepted me onto the course, but then now I had to be matched up with the right employer while I'm studying the course, because it's an apprenticeship, so you need to be learning on the job too. So there was a list of companies to apply for that you would be working alongside your studying. So I applied to quite a few that was relevant to my course, which was business and digital marketing. And eventually I ended up applying for this agency. It was like a marketing agency, and I'd be working in a team who had just set up an online publication. So I applied for like a social media role because it was the most relevant to what I was studying as part of my apprenticeship. This was like my first office, like corporate job. It was my first exposure to the 9-to-5 life, let's say. In terms of the course itself, it wasn't as intense as my A-levels. I felt like if I could finish my A-levels and come out in one piece, like just about in one piece, there's nothing that I can't handle. As things progressed, just because of the work environment, I would say, I had made a decision basically that when I finish my contract, my 1-year contract, and I get my qualification, I wasn't going to stay at that job, even if they offered me a permanent contract. And that was because, for a number of reasons, I might do a story time on that, I'm not sure. But basically, I thought, yeah, I'm not staying here, I'm cutting. Now at that point, I'm thinking, okay, what do I do after this apprenticeship? Because I still don't know what I want to do in my life. Like, I've learned so much on the job and a lot of things interest me in the job, but I still don't know what I want as a job. Like, what do I do next? So I went back to the drawing board, start exploring my options. I was searching for different roles online that were more on the creative side, because now it's like I have a bit more experience. And then I saw this opportunity to get into the film industry. And I was like, this looks fun. This looks exciting. I'm gonna apply. Actually, the last week of my contract, I got a call back for an interview. I went on a lunch break, a very long lunch break, smashed the interview. I really enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed the people that were interviewing me. Like, they were so nice. My last day was on a Friday, and I was thinking, okay, I've got a weekend to relax and then I'm gonna have to start job hunting. But that day, when I was on my way home with all my stuff, I finally left this job at last. I was so relieved. I got the call and they were like, oh, we really like your interview. Do you want to start on Monday? And I was like, yeah. So I was super relieved at that, because I had no idea what I was going to do. I didn't know when would be the next time for me to actually be employed. So the fact that I got such a quick response was insane. So, you know, I was really grateful for that. This internship, absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Probably one of the best places I've worked so far to this day. Their main thing was like adapting books into TV series. So that was really fun. I managed to get connected to this really cool French producer. And at the time, she was just nominated for a BAFTA. And at this point, I was being exposed more on the production side of things in terms of screenwriting, script editing. It got to a point where I was like, okay, cool. This is nice, but I'm hitting a lot of barriers. And despite the great opportunities that I had, I just felt like it was just so hard to progress. Long story short, I got curious again, and here I am in yet another industry. So yeah, that's like a summary on some of the work experience that I've had. There's plenty more, but maybe that could be a separate video. I don't know. Was it actually worth not going to university? The good thing about me not going straight into uni was that I had a bit more freedom to actually explore what it is that I wanted to do. For me, it was like, I can't even imagine doing one thing or one job or have just one career path for the rest of my life. I just felt like the world is just so big and there's just so much. How on earth do adults do this? Like, how do you just pick one job to do for the rest of your life? I know for a fact that if I had gone to uni, I would not have the job that I have now. I don't think I would even be in the tech industry, because it wasn't something that occurred to me straight away to get into. Like, I wasn't exposed to tech. I managed to build some really good networks of people in different industries. Now, the not so positive side of things. It was very lonely. So, you know, all my friends went to university. They all had each other, or they went and ended up making their uni friends. A lot of them were the same age as each other, so they kind of went off and they've got their social life along with studying at university. Whereas for me, it was like I just went straight into the working world, and it was very lonely in the sense that there weren't a lot of people my age doing some of the things that I was doing. Like, apart from when I was studying during the apprenticeship course, where I was surrounded by people similar in age to me, after that, all the people that I've been working with up until this day, a lot of them are much older than me. I still made friends, I would say, but like, they're not my friends' friends. They're more like acquaintances, work friends, if that makes sense. So it was like, I didn't really get the same opportunity to build those friendships like someone who has gone to uni. And I feel like that's probably affected me to this day in terms of the friendships that I have. A lot of my friends are a bit older than me. They're not all my age. The next thing is finances. Financially, it was not that great at first. It was very rocky financially because I didn't have a lot of experience. The apprenticeship that I was on didn't pay that well. I don't think apprenticeships in general pay very well. It's quite annoying, really. And at the time I was living in London, so it's like, you know, the cost of living in London is quite high. So apprenticeships weren't always enough to cover those costs. That was something that really did hit me hard at first. On top of that, there was a lot of pressure from people around me because I'm the eldest, and telling your African parents that you don't want to go to university, that was interesting. I just put a lot of pressure on myself because I felt like I don't have a degree, so I need to go the extra mile to stand out. I need to utilize the resources that I do have around me to make sure I'm staying on top of my skill set, make sure I'm staying on top of things and building connections and really just putting myself out there. That takes a lot of time and effort, and some days, like, it really took a toll on me mentally. I just didn't know what was coming for me next, and it's very hard navigating the working world as a Black Muslim woman too. Like, it was hard. It was very, very draining, and I just feel like there were times where I just wanted to call it quits and just, I don't know, do nothing. But I knew that I couldn't do that because I still have bills to pay. I would say, if you are someone that's not necessarily choosing not to go to uni completely, but you just want to defer your entry or you just want to take a gap year, plan out your year properly and plan it out well. You're not in school anymore. You don't have a curriculum or a study structure or whatever to follow, so you can't actually slack. Nothing moves until you do when you're not a student anymore. Why are you taking this gap year? Is it just because you want to rest? Is it because you're trying to get some work experience? Are you trying to save up? Whatever it is, you need to plan it, and you need to plan it well. That's one thing I wish I had done properly. If you are someone that wants to explore an apprenticeship route, whether it's like them apprenticeship degrees or just a generic apprenticeship, I would say, if you're still studying, start researching them while you're studying. If you're not, still research, but also see if you can apply to internships, or just look at company websites that are hiring generally and see if you can contact them about shadowing or interning. Guys, please, I wish someone had drilled it into my head. Please, please, please fix your finances or work towards sorting out your finances. I struggled financially when I left after A-levels and I was figuring out what the hell I want to do with my life. It was hard. It was very, very hard financially. I couldn't do a lot of things because I was broke. Plan financially where you can. If you can get help with your family, friends, etc., take full advantage. Guys, don't be shy. Like, it's great to explore your passions. It's great to have courage, take chances, grab opportunities with both hands, but you also need to be realistic and be aware of your surroundings. So that also means being very mindful of your finances. And lastly, do not sell yourself out for these jobs or these industries. You might think in that moment that, cool, yeah, I finessed it, but in the long run, it's gonna backfire, or you'll just find that you'll feel burnt out. I'm saying this from observation. Do not compromise on your values, on your principles, and what you stand for. And it's very hard sometimes to just bite the bullet and keep it stepping and turn down an opportunity that seems very enticing at the time. But in hindsight, I am super grateful I did that, because where I am right now, I can confidently say I stuck to being true to myself. And that's probably the best advice I could give you guys. Whether you go to uni or not, stay authentic to yourself. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video useful. And as always, if you guys already watch my videos, I always leave links in the description below with a bunch of resources. As you can see, I am trying to make my content accessible because I feel like that should be the standard. and not an afterthought. Also got another link if you would like to buy me a coffee and help support my translators and continue making my channel more accessible. So I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.